CNN Breaking News.
And I'm Pamela Brown in Washington. Welcome to our viewers in the United States and around the world. You are live in the CNN newsroom, and it is a busy Sunday. Breaking news on CNN, very dramatic steps being taken right now in the United States and around the world. The goal? To keep commercial air travel safer, both in the skies and on the ground. And this is the reason, that terrifying and fiery failure of United Airlines 777 engine this weekend. The pilot managed to land in Colorado with everyone aboard safe, but the plane scattered huge metal parts all over a neighborhood below. And now U.S. federal air travel officials, the FAA, ramping up inspections of all 777 aircraft in the U.S. fleet, flying with a certain type of engine. Also this evening, the government of Japan is grounding all Boeing 777 planes in the Japanese fleet that operate that certain type of engine. Full details on that in just a moment, including the impact these steps will have on the airline and travel industry in the U.S. right now. Our teams are covering this from all angles. Pete Montine is in Washington and Selena Wang is in Tokyo. But first to you, Pete Montine, our aviation correspondent. This just came into CNN that United Airlines specifically is taking a bold step in light of this weekend's frightening incident over Colorado. What can you tell us?
This is so significant, Pamela. United Airlines says it's immediately and temporarily grounding its Boeing 777-200s with the Pratt & Whitney PW4000 engine. This is almost immediately after the FAA issued an emergency order stepping up inspections on the PW4000 engine, particular to the 777. It says it found problems in this investigation with the fan blades of the United Flight 328. New issues keep coming to light every moment here. You can see that engine on fire there. You know, this is so significant because the crew had to be confronted with a very serious emergency in flight. A loud boom has been reported. They had to turn the airplane back to the runway and make a successful emergency landing. An uncontained engine failure is what that is referred to. The PW4000 engine in particular here will be something that investigators will focus in on. It's something that is used widely in aviation on other airplanes, not just the Boeing 777, 747, Airbus A330s, but the FAA says the issues are particular to the 777-200 because the fan blades are made of hollow titanium that are particularly hard to inspect. So swift action here after yesterday's incident of United Airlines Flight 328 near Denver, almost 36 hours after the fact. Things are happening very quickly here, not only from regulators, but also from airlines.
And we'll see if more is to come. I know you'll keep us updated on that. Pete Montine, thanks so much. And meantime, over in Japan, Japan is taking major steps in response to that engine failure in Colorado. CNN international correspondent Selena Wang is in Tokyo. So, Selena, what have you learned?
Pamela, that's correct. A major step here coming from Japan. But the big question is, are other countries going to follow suit? Now, Japan has ordered all domestic airlines to halt operations of the Boeing 777 that are equipped with this Pratt & Whitney PW4000 engine. Now, Japan's transport ministry has issued this order to all Nippon Airways, as well as Japan Airlines, which have fleets of 19 and 13 of the Boeing 777. Now, Japan has faced problems with this particular plane and the particular engine in the past. We know that the United Airlines flight coming from Denver suffered engine failure. Well, on December 4th, an engine of the same series as the United Airlines engine caused an incident in Japan, which forced an emergency landing of a Japan Airlines plane in Okinawa, also due to issues with that same engine. Now, according to the national broadcaster NHK, part of that aircraft's engine cover was lost during flight and caused a hole that measured 28 centimeters across on the horizontal tail. Now, Pamela, Japan's Ministry of Transport at the time called it a serious incident, and at the time asked domestic carriers to increase inspections of the Boeing 777 with that engine. Now, CNN has reached out to Boeing for comment. They had no comment specifically on the incident in Japan and their reaction. And again, the big question here, however, is this going to have a domino effect? How are other countries going to react?
That is a big question, and we shall see. Selena Wang, thank you very much. And for more on this breaking story, I'm joined by CNN aviation analyst Miles O'Brien and CNN aviation analyst Peter Goals, who is the former NTSB managing director. Great to see you both again. Peter, I want to start with you. United Airlines is grounding 24 Boeing 777 planes that are powered by Pratt & Whitney 4000 series engines out of an abundance of caution, they say. How should other airlines approach this?
Well, they're going to have to do the same thing, Pamela. I mean, this is an extraordinary event. And frankly, it underscores just how far the FAA has fallen in terms of its worldwide leadership in aviation safety. It was the Japanese Civil Aviation Authority that pulled the plug on the 777, not the FAA. And this is our plane. The FAA certified it. The FAA oversees it. And they have fallen so far in terms of its credibility internationally that the Administrator Dixon and the new Secretary of Transportation, it's going to take a long time for them to recover their standing.
And then you have to look at the setback overall, the big picture, Miles, the setback for United at a time when the airline industry has already been hurt by the COVID pandemic.
Yes, and there's a lot of question marks, Pamela, as to what this stepped-up inspection order from the Federal Aviation Administration might do. It's important to know that the Japan Airlines, the Japan fleet, ANA and Japan Airlines fleet, subsequent to the events at the end of this past year, the uncontained failure that occurred there, they went through the Pratt & Whitney prescripted inspection, and it was prior to that event, and yet they still had the uncontained failure. So the question is, how do you properly inspect these fan blades? They're hollow, they're big, each of them weighs about 30 pounds, and they crack from the inside out. And so what the inspections will do and what they will reveal and how they will do them differently this time in order to find any potential failures are open questions right now.
So you have the inspection stepping up on these hollow fan blades. What does that tell you, Peter, about the nature of what happened in Colorado yesterday, the nature of the problem that we saw?
Well, Miles has underscored it. They cracked from the inside, and the NTSB inspected the Pratt & Whitney facility in Hartford, Connecticut back in 2018 and was highly critical not only of the way in which these inspections were taking place, but they were critical of the way in which the FAA was overseeing these inspections. And I think we are in for some hard times again for the FAA, and I think this aircraft is going to stay on the ground for a while until the inspection process is reviewed and we are sure that it can catch these little minute flaws that under extreme pressure and can rupture an engine.
So then, given what we saw yesterday and then it also happened in Amsterdam, do you expect, Miles, more airlines, more countries to do what we saw in Japan and what United has done with grounding some of these planes with this engine?
Well, it's 4 specific variants of the Pratt & Whitney 4000 series that are affected right now. And as it happens, these happen to be hung beneath Boeing 777s in the United fleet in the United States, as well as all the 777s in Japan and also in South Korea. So right now, it's a limited group of aircraft and Pratt & Whitney engines. The question is, though, you had that 747 yesterday, PW 4000 series. I'm not exactly sure which particular model number it was. Is there something broader here in the PW 4000 series, which is an awful lot of engines out there flying around 2,500 or so? So this could get broader as this process continues. The bottom line is, Pamela, it's very time-consuming and very expensive, and in many cases, extremely difficult to inspect these blades for these minute cracks on the inside that can cause these kinds of failures.
So then that raises the question about the timeline, right? How long will this take? And at what point will they make those critical decisions of whether to continue to ground the planes or not? So a lot of unanswered questions. We'll see how this plays out. Miles O'Brien, Peter Goals, thank you so much.